Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is time for another sketchbook tour. I've been drawing a lot lately, and as usual I'm drawing on Strathmore Tone Tan paper. I love this paper. I haven't really talked a whole lot about this, but I just love how smooth the surface is for my drawing style, and I love that mid-tone that the tan paper gives you. I'm using Master's Touch markers and then also some Prismacolor markers, and I'll talk a little bit more about these. For highlights that you see, I use a Jelly Roller pen, a couple different brands of this, and then for just the sketching and drawing part, I use regular old Bic pens. These are like $2 for 10, so they're super cheap. A couple different kinds of those for different reasons. I might talk about that a little bit. And then, yeah, so the sketch we left off with in the last sketchbook tour was this one right here. These are some of the other ones from previous sketchbooks. So this is the first new one. This is an action scene. I've been drawing a lot of just faces and character concepts where they're just kind of standing there and stuff. So thought I'd do some action sequences. And I haven't been drawing. These are fun, because they definitely tell a story a lot of times. This one's just pretty simple. I wanted to draw some dude smashing somebody's face. So this is like a robot that he's punching. This is super rough. I didn't particularly like this aspect of it. Anyway, that's that sketch. So this is an interesting sketch page. So sometimes I'll just pick random people. It doesn't have to be a celebrity. In this case, I came across Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I just started sketching random facial pictures that they had of him on the internet. And the reason I like to do this, it's not to draw him particularly, it's just to look at his facial structure, the different ways individual people's faces, like he has these really pronounced like cheekbones, and when you study someone's face like this, it helps you draw creatures and monsters more. And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of times for one, we look at our own self, our face in the mirror a lot. So a lot of the characters we draw have facial features similar to our own. But what you can, when you study somebody's face, you can really see that, like, I mean, this is like where his cheeks really pop out. That's something that I understand now a little bit better by drawing him and looking at him. And so for future characters, that might be something I might try on, like a character concept or a monster. Maybe the monster's cheeks really stick out like this. So these are great study pages just to kind of look at unique elements of different types of people's faces. So this is the one I was going to show you where, and this is kind of like a robot Medusa. So she's got like snake things in her hair. I don't actually like this drawing, but I was experimenting with these markers right here, and I'll just show you, like, I'll fill that all in. That, you know, those, and that's just a different color as well. But I just feel like in everything I've been drawing with these, like you can see a big difference in just how vibrant those colors are. I definitely love these Master's Touch markers though, and I'm not paid by them or anything like that. It's just they're super cheap at Hobby Lobby. If you get them 50% off, they're like $2.50 each compared to the Copic markers. And I feel like they're super vibrant on this tone tan stuff, especially the hot pink. I love that. Actually, it's this one right here. So this guy is, so me and my daughter started watching The Mandalorian, and I was thinking of Baby Yoda. This obviously isn't Baby Yoda, but that was kind of the idea that was going through my head when I was drawing this one. So kind of like a weird Star Wars type character. One cool thing, I'll tell you a little trick, and I do this sometimes. Sometimes I just leave it white, but when I'm doing like highlights on certain characters, I'll do the highlights and then I'll take a really bright color. Like in his case, I used like a neon green, and I went over the white, so it makes the white kind of like highlights of neon green. So it helps it kind of, because sometimes white can be really stark on your character. Sometimes that looks cool, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you want the skin color to kind of show on those highlights, especially if you don't want it to look super shiny. It helps dull it down a bit. So, but as far as this guy, he's a pretty cool little character. I like his big arm, and then the pink horns on his head. His pants and stuff are super random and weird. I don't know. Yeah, kind of interesting. But as far as the way his rendering looks, I liked it. Like the way it turned out. So this one's super weird, really scribbly on her leg, but I just left it because there's no erasing with the big pins. So when I'm structuring things out, sometimes those structured lines get really dark, and then I decide to go in a different direction. And with the sketchbook, I just leave it. I just, it is what it is. Might look like something, might not. Might look like blood on her leg or something. Also, one thing I did with all these drawings, and you'll see them popping up next to the sketches, is I decided to do show you guys what it looks like with just the structure lines, no color and stuff. So I actually kind of filmed those as I was drawing. So let me know if that helps to kind of look at these without being fully colored and rendered, just to kind of see the base sketch. So this little guy, he's kind of like a little demon dude, and he might be tripping on some mushrooms. There's fairies flying around him and stuff, but I like his expression. The angle where you're kind of looking down at him is kind of interesting. And then I gave him kind of a little yellowish Hawaiian shirt, which, I like the personality of that. It's kind of a fun sketch. I definitely like this one. The red skin really pops. I mean, look at that coverage on that marker. That is crazy. These Bastard's Touch markers, the pigment is just so strong. I love the way it looks on certain things. So I've been watching probably as the same as all you guys, is the Mandalorian. So this was kind of like a Mandalorian character idea. He's got the Trojan type, I don't know what you call that. Anybody know what you call that? But anyway, color scheme, yellow and red. Sometimes I only have limited markers, so I'm always trying to get as much out of the markers as I can when I only have like 6 or 7 colors I'm working with. And that's just because I'm lazy and I don't carry a lot of colors. A lot of times actually what I'm struggling with is I have to decide like in my day like what I'm going to put in this little pouch, and I can't fit everything in there, so I have to selectively, I need a bigger pouch, or I just need to have a backpack on all the time. But I have to selectively choose which colors are going to go in the pouch. So sometimes I'm struggling to come up with different color combinations a little bit. So, but this is a cool drawing. I like the design of his helmet a lot. I thought that turned out pretty good. So yeah, kind of a fun sketch. So this is like inspired a little bit by what are those characters? I can't think of the name. They have jewels in their heads. My daughters watch the cartoon. I can't think of his name right now. Oh, what's his name? Anyway, this is like a buff wrestler girl. This is just kind of a fun drawing. She's totally beat up this robot. I feel like drawing girls and drawing women of different sizes and stuff is always fun and interesting. I think a lot of us as artists, we get stuck with like drawing an idealistic version of something, and sometimes everybody gets in that little rut where you learn to draw something a certain way. I like to definitely push myself to draw things in new ways, and not just new ways, but more realistic ways, or just creative, like be original, I guess, a little bit, and try and push myself out of those ruts that all artists get into. And I feel like I really like the way she turned out. She's just kind of an interesting character. The colors are great color scheme. So, and her armor is kind of, or her bodysuit or whatever, wrestling bodysuit is kind of cool too. So anyway, yeah, I like this one. Fun sketch. So this is just a sketch page where I just take one color, which this is the pink Big Pen, and I just draw characters. One thing I like to do on these type of pages is, so I'll start out with this guy. This is the one I started with, drew his arm up here, and I'll fit a face down in here, and I'll just look at the spaces that are left behind and try and fit characters into those spaces. And one thing that helps me do is I can't just draw the figure the way I want to draw it. I have to draw it to fit the space. So I have to contort the characters and draw them in new ways. And I feel like that can be kind of challenging sometimes. So you can't just draw what you already know or what you're comfortable with drawing on a single page. You got to kind of fit it into the spaces that you've created for yourself. So yeah, I really like a couple of these characters. I like her pose a lot. It's very like ballet, elegant kind of pose. Her face turned out great. So sketch pages like this, I'll look at individual things, and because you're so free and you don't have to, you're not trying to draw so perfect on pages like this, a lot of times you do your best drawings. Another one of those pages, but instead of red, I used blue, which is this blue right here. I did a couple of highlights for the eyes and just to make them pop for fun. I got this big wolf head down here, or maybe werewolf or saber-tooth werewolf type thing. I don't know, but kind of cool. Again, with I drew the wolf head, and then I drew this guy, and then I had this weird space here. So I drew the girl kind of filling in that space. So I had to kind of, do her pose to fit that space. And then same with her, I kind of have her stepping on her back, her leg coming through here. So again, that's kind of just to challenge myself to, not draw poses in the way I want them drawn, but to fit the page. But yeah, so that's actually all the sketches this time around. Hope you guys liked the sketchbook tour. I'm gonna try and do these, a little bit more often. A lot of times I'm drawing, sketching a lot, and a couple of weeks will go by, or 3 weeks, and I haven't uploaded a video. So I'm trying to be a better YouTuber and get videos up a little bit more often. So I'm thinking about doing some redraws with my daughters. Like I said, I still need to do that step-by-step, my style sketchbook drawing. So like a sketch like this where it's all the elements that I use, Big Pen, markers, jelly roller, highlights, just showing you what steps I go through. And I actually do have a process for doing this, because if you do it in the wrong order, your markers will smear your pen. And then obviously you can kind of change the way your highlights look in certain areas by going over those areas with marker. So if you do, you want your highlights on the red parts of his helmet just to be knocked down a bit, you can kind of do the highlights and then go over the jelly roller like that and kind of dull them down a bit, but you still got that nice highlight there, just knocked down a bit. So I still want to do that video for you guys, and yeah. So anyway, that's the sketchbook video. Hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you thought about, or let me know what your favorite sketch was from this sketchbook tour. And yeah, I just hit, on a side note, I just hit 80,000 subscribers, which was always a goal. I mean, I'd love to get to 100,000 and get my little silver YouTuber thing, but yeah, that's like kind of a cool achievement that I hadn't really thought a whole lot about. I've been doing YouTube forever, and 80,000 subscribers is a pretty cool milestone. So thank you guys for that. And yeah, till the next sketchbook tour or next video, I will catch you guys later.